Okay, well, let's get back to Mr. Ikeazu. Morning, and thank you for joining us. We did ask initially, though you didn't get that.
Hello?
While you were the first vice president of the NBA, what kind of matters came up about disciplinary measures within the bar?
Well, there's a wide spectrum of disciplinary matters which always come up, and when I was first vice president, it was no exception. But one major difficulty we had was lawyers receiving fees or monies from clients and not carrying out the instruction for which they were paid. That was a major one. Another one was the fake lawyer syndrome, which of course is not a disciplinary issue, it's more of a regulation issue. But I can say those two stood out if I remember clearly.
Okay, well, now that Mr. Kewali is bringing this matter up again, yes, you always have those who will be pessimistic, to say the least, about that kind of matter. Do you think that this time there might just be a difference given the challenges that they all encounter this time?
Mr. Okewali Sam, the president of the bar, has gotten it right to make a major issue out of this fake lawyer syndrome. And apart from that, other disciplinary issues. I can tell you right away that if we do not discipline our profession, the profession is going to implode. The profession is going to get destroyed. We cannot have a situation where lawyers receive fees and monies from clients and fail to, with impunity, to carry out the instructions. We cannot have situations where lawyers receive rent from their clients or sell their clients' land and refuse to hand over the proceeds to the clients. The profession is going to the dogs, and so the president has gotten it right to want to make a cornerstone of his administration, restoration of ethics and discipline at the bar.
Well, before even the NBA president does something, while we wait for his actions, what about the branch, the state chapters of the NBA? Shouldn't they step up to be counted in this kind of matters, or are they just there for nomenclature's sake?
Yes, I was chairman of a branch as well before I became national vice president of the NBA. And I can tell you right away that the sheer volume of petitions against lawyers at the branch level is overwhelming. I spent a quarter of my time as chairman of Enugu branch NBA, reading letters and complaints, and I was astonished. And I want to agree with you, Chamberlain, that the branches are not doing enough. I recall years ago a non-lawyer rose to become chairman of a branch of the NBA in Oju River. A non-lawyer. He had read law, he graduated, he went to the law school, failed out, and was not called to bar. And he still went on and practiced law and became chairman of the branch until a member of that branch rose up and said, no, I don't think this is right, and wrote a letter to the Council of Legal Education who confirmed that he wrote the bar exams and failed. And he disappeared after this was disclosed. I can tell you a lot of shenanigans are going on at the branch level, and there is insufficient commitment at the branch level to ensure that these shenanigans are checked. And I think that is where Mr. Okewali Sam, the president, has to start from, to sensitize and ensure that the branches become more responsive and proactive in dealing with these issues of indiscipline and field regulation. I think the first thing we should do is, before anybody sets up a chamber, NBA must approve. You can't just wake up someday and get a room and put a signboard, OKK and Co., solicitors and advocates. The NBA must not regulate and insist that before you set up a law firm, you have got to be approved, receive a statement of approval from the NBA. Otherwise, you won't be allowed to start a law firm. Otherwise, anybody who has been a court clerk, anybody who failed out of the law school, and just go and put up a signboard and begin to practice law. That's what we are seeing now.
How did things get this bad?
This is part of the general malaise that has totally undermined Nigeria. No sector is spared. I'm ashamed to admit that my own primary constituency, the bar, it has been also afflicted by the general sickness all over the country. The solution, like I said, is more regulation and less of a tolerance for a culture of impunity.
Do you think that the NBA president will be able to get the commitment he needs from the branch chairman of the NBA?
There is need for a change of mindset. For the president of the NBA to get the commitment he requires, he will need to more than make statements. He will need to call a summit on discipline and ethics, where all chairmen and secretaries and leaders of the bar will be in attendance, and he will need to make it a cornerstone. How do I put it? There's need for retraining. It is for a change of the mindset. And if lawyers are retrained, I think we will give him the cooperation he requires.
All right, and thank you very much indeed for speaking with us this morning.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.